It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
In the words of Ryan Ermanni, let's talk some sports. I'm Braylon Edwards, and this is Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, my co-host. Filling in for Ryan Ermanni is the great Terry Foss. T. Foss, how you doing, man?
Good day. I am COVID-free.
There you go. So you ruined the surprise there, Maz. How you doing over there, buddy?
Hey, bud. Happy COVID-versary.
This is actually the
Hey,
anniversary
everybody.
of COVID. 3 years ago on this tape, we had the first reported case in the state of Michigan of COVID-19. Here we are now. Guys.
Who was it? Rudy Gobert?
That was the official one.
That did happen here. That was when he was touching all the microphones, and then like everybody on the Utah Jazz got COVID-19, including Donovan Mitchell. And I don't think those guys have spoken since. Here it is. Shout out to Fletch right on time. Look at this. This was here at LCA, ladies and gentlemen. And he's touching all the microphones, and then everybody's laughing, and everybody's smiling, and
They're like, what's he doing?
But it's an ass move.
It is. Like
It
this
is.
This is what you call not doing your research and not believing. Like you can't just.
I think at the time,
No one
a
did.
lot of people thought COVID was a joke. It's not going to really hit. How can you have like
Right.
a pandemic? We never had this before. What's up?
What were your thoughts like when you first heard of COVID-19, T. Floss? I'm talking about even before COVID was announced, and this was the first case 3 years ago. What were your first initial thoughts when you heard COVID-19?
I said it'll be gone in a few weeks. We don't have to worry about this. I'll admit, I didn't take it that serious, and then as it kept lingering, I'm like, okay, we got a problem here.
Maz, your initial thoughts before we get deep. Your initial thoughts.
I'm with Terry. I said, what is this? This got to be a joke. It can't be happening. Bring it on. I didn't care. I just thought right away, I'm like, no way. There's no way. Then they said, what'd they say? In 2 weeks, if we all just chill out for 2 weeks, it'll be gone.
Here's what
That didn't happen.
Here, I'll take it back. When the very first time I heard about it, I remember it was called coronavirus at first. Like, it was like before they got to COVID-19, it was coronavirus. Coronavirus was this thing that was happening, and it started over in Asia because of Lord knows what. I was talking to a friend of mine that we used to date, and then we no longer dated, and we started talking randomly at this time, and she's bringing this up. She's one of those individuals that, like, she's paranoid about everything. She's always thinking the world's going to end. Everybody's listening on her phone call. When she started talking about this, she was like, yo, this is going to be serious. She said, this is going to kill a lot of people, and this is going to, like, divide the world. I was like, man, shut your old apocalyptic ass up. And my God, you know, this was December of 2019. She said it. In March of 2020, we were here and we were shutting the country down. What did you think as it progressed and we now went from talking about it, some murders, not murders, but death, people dying, to we shut the state of Michigan down March 15th, 2020.
Terry,
Maz?
before you say anything, Terry.
Yes.
You and me, and I think Clarence Black, and I forget who the other
Jimmy
person.
King.
Jimmy King. We all went to lunch at Red Coat Tavern.
And for their burgers, we sure
For the
did.
that was the last time.
The one on Maple and Orchard Lake?
That was the last time.
That's the last time I went out.
That was
for
the
a long
last
time.
day that they were serving. We're like, let's go grab a burger. We went there.
Right.
We had our burger, and then everything shut down the next day.
And we had onion rings too.
We did those onion rings.
Oh
I
man,
died for.
they kill
Yeah.
you.
So you go ahead. You first.
The burger definitely is amazing.
To me, it started to getting personal real quick between me and my wife, because I kept hearing nationwide, nobody's dying from this. This is all baloney and everything. Between my wife and I, the first year, we knew of 11 people who died from COVID, and most of them were in the hood. I mean, I was at McFall's funeral home like every other week because somebody had died from COVID.
So you were going, though?
I was going to the funeral.
Because a lot of people weren't going.
I know.
A lot of
Yeah,
people
they
weren't
were
having
doing it virtually,
services,
but I
too.
was sitting there in the back row.
Okay.
With my little mask on.
Okay.
Paying respects to people. So it hit me personal because I knew people. So that's how I knew this wasn't just baloney and everything. And so, and then I live with Dr. Fauci. She didn't want me to go anywhere.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's talking about his wife. He did refer to her as He still refers to her
Right.
as Dr. Fauci.
Yeah, she still gets freaked out today.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. You know, you move into the first year of 2020, they shut it down in March. I remember where I was when they finally because a couple states had shut down. I think New York had shut down. I think California had shut down, but a lot of other states were still flirting with the idea. I was at Topgolf, and it was Sunday the 14th, and I think finally that's when Michigan said, "Yeah, we're gonna shut this thing down Monday." And then that next day, they shut it down Monday the 15th. That first 6, 8, 9 months was just. It was crazy the stuff that people were doing, like online, on Twitter. Like COVID, really introduced a lot to the world. It made it a weird place, man. Even though we were home.
I'll tell you, what was the first sport to shut down? Was it basketball, then hockey? I think basketball shut down first.
Yeah, basketball and basketball and hockey.
Then hockey shut down, and that's when it started really hitting everything, because now we couldn't even stay home and watch live sports, and take our mind off things.
Right.
Then they were playing replays of games. All of a sudden. You know me.
Oh, Baz, I know you were watching this, brother, because you're going to deny it, but you were watching Korean baseball, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
All right.
I was. But I wasn't betting on it like Ryan Ermanni was.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't betting on it.
Don't put Ryan's business
No,
on
he
here.
says it. He says it. He used to bet Korean baseball.
I've
Anyway,
never heard him say he bet Korean baseball.
Yes, he did. He did. Back in the day.
Allegedly, ladies
Yeah,
and gentlemen.
allegedly, whatever. Anyway, then I started getting, without sounding, wrong here, I started getting comfortable. Okay, we don't have to go anywhere. We don't have to do anything.
So walk around in your boxes.
We're all home. My kids are home. Finally, my kids are home with us. We're eating dinner together every night. We're hanging out. I remember November that year is when I got sick. A couple of us got sick at home. That's when I got COVID.
So all of us had COVID? Did you?
I never had COVID.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
I had it in November of the 2020, and I remember it was a beautiful November.
That's coming next, by the way.
So I got to be out. I got to hang out outside on the patio. We put the TV outside.
2020 wasn't nice. Yeah, 2020 was nice weather.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was great weather. So I only felt bad one day, but then I lost my sense of taste, my sense of smell. But I felt good. But my wife was still, putting the dinner. I had to sleep in the basement. She was putting the dinner up on the stairs. You got to come and get it.
Right.
That kind, like a dog. Yeah. But as the days went on, I was cleaning out the garage. I was finding all kinds of old stuff and watching old games and stuff like that. I started getting comfortable in that route. And when I felt better, I started going out. And I think we had a place that Terry and I used to work together and do a podcast at. NRM it was called. And we would do a podcast here and there. I would go. There's nobody on the road, nobody at the gas stations.
Right.
I remember going to Costco and filling up for 90 cents a gallon. 90 cents a gallon. Nobody on the road.
Did you ever go out in the beginning and get nervous that you were going to get pulled over and
I did get pulled over.
Like in the very beginning, because remember you couldn't. I think when they shut down in March,
you had to have like a special pass.
Or you had to have a reason. Like,
yeah,
you had to have a reason. So you got pulled over.
Yeah.
What was that like?
They pulled me over. What are you doing out here, sir? Blah blah blah.
I never got pulled over.
But as a member of the media, you were allowed to be out as long as you had like a media credential or whatever like that. So he said, okay, just be careful, obviously, and I went about my business. But the more the weeks went on, and the more relaxed it was outside. Nobody's out, nobody's doing anything. My kids are off from school. You know what they used to do for birthdays? If instead of having a party at school or whatever, they would have people in their cars.
Yeah, I remember
with the parade, doing a parade past your house, beeping the horn. Kids would run out and throw candy on the. In a bag.
That's what we did for my son's graduation.
You know
that
what?
Sounds horrible.
No, it was really sweet.
We may do, but
I thought it brought us all together. I really believe that it brought us together.
I kind of divided us though, because we had the vaxxers, the anti-vaxxers,
and that's
the
what was next.
masked people, the non-masked people.
Yeah, we were
like thumping each other.
I don't fight with anybody. Just don't care.
That was my next. That's what I was going to bring it up too. Is 2020? Obviously, we go through the first year. It's kind of everybody being at home, not going anywhere. The world is a ghost town. 2021 is when they introduced the vaccine. Terry, did you take the vaccine? And if you didn't, what reason? Why you didn't take it?
I took it. I took the first one, the second one, and every booster.
Do you regret it?
No, I don't. I'm glad I did, because I ended up catching COVID.
Right.
But my COVID, I didn't even know I had it. I was sneezing, and so every fall, for whatever reason, I used to get.
So I gotta watch you when you sneeze.
I used to get allergies in the spring, Then later in life, it switched to the fall.
Okay.
So this was the fall, and I started sneezing. And so I said, oh, this is just my allergy. And then it got better and everything. So my wife, Dr. Fauci, every time I sneeze, I had to go take a test.
Take a test.
Oh, my God.
I took 9 tests. All of them were negative except the one when I started sneezing.
Yeah.
And so what
that was
she
good
did,
enough for her.
Huh? She had me go to this fire station in Pontiac. And you just roll up, you give them your papers, they give you the test, and you roll out.
Why is everywhere, like when we go through these situations where you got to go get a test or where you got to go get a whatever, why is it always in a shady place? Like what I want you to do is I want you to pull up behind the firehouse, blow your horn 2 times, and I'm gonna come outside. Don't be alarmed. Like, it's always a shady place.
It's like a scene out of The Wire.
I haven't even seen a firehouse in a very long time. It just sounds
But
shady.
it was this old-fashioned looking firehouse, and right in the middle, you know, that's where the guys come down the pole and everything. That's where we took our test.
Did you come for the test or the crack? Which one did
I was
you
there
come from?
for the test. I'm not a crackhead.
Which one
Thank
did
you
you
very
come
much.
from?
No, but and then
Right.
like 11 o'clock that night, your test would come back. The results would come back. So it was always negative. So I'm like, girl, I am sick and tired of taking these 2 tests. I hate they put that swab up your nose. And my wife is the worst. Like when given the test, 'cause we have a home test. She made me take a home test. So there in Pontiac, they stick the swab up.
Way
and
up
it was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
My wife stuck the thing up into my eyeball.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God dang, girl, are you serious? Well, I just want to make sure. I'm like, so I had to take all these tests and everything. The other thing that happened to me was the mask against the anti-maskers.
This was a fun one. Like
Yeah, this was so I did a carry out in a restaurant, and I wore a mask in the restaurant, and then as I'm leaving with my food, I hear someone say, "Hey, not you, T-Foss." I said, "What did I do?" "Man, you're falling for the fake wearing a mask." I said, "Dude, I'm gonna do everything I can to protect myself, but I'm not staying in the house."
Yeah.
For 9 months, but I'm gonna wear my little mask.
Yeah.
I'm getting vaccinated. So anyway, this guy is chastising me, dogging me about wearing a mask. You know, this fool posted on Twitter. No, it was Facebook. Like 3 days later.
Oh yeah, that's the Karen
What they do?
site.
Take a picture of you?
Facebook is definitely for Karen.
No.
Male and female.
He wrote on there. He got COVID. Can't breathe.
The individual on Facebook that wrote the report about you had COVID.
The guy that dogged me in the restaurant.
He had COVID.
He couldn't breathe. He got COVID. He was in the hospital. He was in the hospital for 2 weeks.
Hey, you wish COVID on that man? You're terrible.
Hey, I may have.
The COVID fairy got him.
Then he
T-Falls out
said
here wishing COVID on people.
it wasn't because he didn't wear a mask. He said he caught COVID that one time he wore a mask. I said, dude, come on.
Okay.
Really?
You can't fight City Hall sometimes.
I know.
No, you
You
can't.
can't fight stupid.
And
either.
you can't fight
It is
stupid.
what- I don't begrudge anyone for whatever they do. Just do what you want, man.
There's a lot more COVID talk. I want to talk about what was the best things that come out of COVID. What were some of the funniest things we saw during COVID? And I mean, what was the COVID experience like? Like, was it a myth? Was it real? Let's get back into that. But first time, take us about Chili Peppers Tanning Salon.
You bet, man. Chili Peppers Tanning, you know it. You know the scoop. 27 locations and more on the way. Not only that, they have the cleanest salons in the Dean. If you join the Pepper Club, they're going to beat all competitors by $5 on unlimited tanning and more. They'll take great care of you as well. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans, your vitamin D headquarters, ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Three NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Tron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. Right now, they have an exclusive offer from Woodward Sports for the fans for their limited edition Red Wings 6-pack. It's $15 and it's free shipping and handling. It's suitable for vegans. It's also gluten-free. Drink it, live it with Cintron. Appreciate you guys joining us on a beautiful Friday. I mean, it's snow outside, Terry, but, you know, it's not too cold. The snow's kind of gone.
Well,
the world's
not as much snow as I thought we were going to
Right.
get.
You know, they didn't hit us like last week. I'm joined by Terry Foster, filling in for Ryan and Mike T. Snow's not too bad out there.
I can walk in it. I even wore my cute boots.
I like those boots.
Yeah.
Those are the boots. See, those are the boots that go with the fedora, and then you
Right.
put a little sports coat on, and you stomping with the big dogs.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm going to do that, too.
Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you for tuning in with us. Today, third anniversary of COVID. 3 years since that we heard that wonderful, wonderful word, coronavirus. And here's Rudy Gobert again. And once again, this is, ironically enough, at LCA where he decided to touch all the microphones. And then everybody on the Utah Jazz after that had COVID, the coronavirus, and they had to forfeit games. Tom Mazawey,
Yes, sir.
what are some of the interesting things sports-related that happened during COVID? Take us about sports during COVID-19.
I remember the NHL was the first team, the first place, Canada, the actual country of Canada, when they said no fans at the games, no nothing.
Yeah.
Do you remember
I do.
watching games with no fans?
It was horrible.
in the arena. I mean, they had the Stanley Cup Finals with no crowd. Man, I just could not get into it as much as prior. Obviously, to watch these games with nobody in the stands, I just didn't like it. Remember when they did?
I went to the Wings' last game. Their last game was at LCA March 6th against the Blackhawks. I was at that game.
Right, I remember that.
I was at that because it's Berkeley's birthday, March 7th. So I took Berkeley and my sister to the game, and then they shut it down after that, man.
Do you remember when the Lions? First of all, the NFL. They're like, oh, we're playing. we're going in.
Trying.
We're playing. But I remember the Lions, when the fans weren't allowed in the stadium, they were putting up, if you sent in your picture, they would put your picture like on a stick
and put it on the
and
seats.
put it on the seats. Remember, they would sell that, for charity and what have you. But a lot of other places would like pipe in some sound. I think Fox did that for a while, piping in some sound.
Oh, I forgot.
And then they
about that.
upgraded it. They put your
Yeah.
face on a monitor.
Yes.
In a lot of places.
Little place.
Michigan did that, too.
Yeah, that's how they did it, man. But to watch a game without fans in the arena, it really takes away from the sport, if you ask me.
Who are the champions that won during
I'm
the
trying to think. I think it was the Lightning.
The Lightning were
Lightning,
bubble
Lakers.
champions.
The Lakers.
The Lakers were bubble championship. Tom Brady. Tom Brady. Tampa. It was Tampa 2020.
Yeah?
It was Tampa. Because that's when it was 2020.
I thought it was the year before that.
No, it was 2020.
I thought it was the Chiefs losing to – I thought it was the Chiefs beating the Niners. Maybe I'm wrong.
So Super Bowl happened before COVID. That would have been the Chiefs beating the Niners. But then the Super Bowl that happened during COVID would have been Tom.
There you go.
Tom,
You're right.
Yeah, it's Tampa.
Absolutely right.
Tampa versus Kansas City.
Limited fans at the Super Bowl.
And there are a lot more than it's supposed to be. Because it's supposed to be
Of course, it's the NFL.
But of course. Speaking of no fans, I was still kind of, hey, JB, you can jump in on this. You know, we were still watching. I was still involved heavily in wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
WWE. Like watching no fans of WWE, so now you can hear all the bumps. You can hear when these guys are motioning. Hey, come on, I'm about to hit you with this. I was like,
and they could.
I think that might be when I realized I'm a little too old to be watching WWE.
You know what?
I think that's what got me.
No, here's the thing. Wrestlers had to change for this. When wrestlers are talking to each other in a real loud arena,
you can't hear
they're
that.
they're not saying I'm going to kick your ass.
No.
What they're doing is they are communicating what the next move is going to be.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that anymore.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
By the way, C.J. Schneider, thank you. It is the Dodgers as well.
Dodgers. There you go. Appreciate it.
So the Lakers, the
Dodgers.
Bucks, the Lightning, and the Dodgers.
That's right.
Those are your COVID champions.
Speaking of COVID champions, we brought up for a reason. Let's get to the one they all talk about, because nobody kind of talks about the Lightning winning. Nobody talks about the Dodgers winning, and nobody talks about
L.A.
Both
LA
Tampa
teams.
Bay. They don't talk about Tampa.
Yeah.
The only thing they talk about the Lakers winning the championship in the bubble under those restrictions. Terry Foster, I come to you. Is that a fake championship? Is it a harder championship? or is it simply just a championship?
It's a championship because what you take out of the equation is when I look at an NBA team at the end of the season, I always look at who has a winning record on the road. Those are the only teams in my mind that can actually win a championship. With the COVID thing, you took that out of the equation, but you still had to be better than everybody else. So to me, it's a championship, but it did take out a very critical factor out there.
How about two cities only winning at COVID? Tampa Bay and L.A. They won two each.
This is true.
Isn't that something?
That's a great point. You got to answer the question,
Yeah,
too.
I will.
Is it a real championship that the Lakers won, being in the bubble, all those teams having to be there, some players opting out, including players from the Lakers? Is it a real championship, or is it a fake championship?
Well, I remember watching it, and I just could not get into the NBA at all with no fans. I just could not do it. It's like being in a high school gym. Those guys, it felt like they were in a high school gym, and they were shooting against just that backdrop. Remember, some players were saying, "I can't shoot against that backdrop." You know how the batter's eye, in center field, there's something you look at, and I just did not. I didn't appreciate. Obviously, the Lakers won, so I appreciate it a lot less. Maybe I'm skewed. I'm skewed here because I don't want it to be a real championship.
You hate LeBron.
Yes, I do.
That's what it comes down to.
I do.
But you know
when
what?
When it comes down to it, that's it.
You were reminded how important the fans are.
Yeah.
And players always say, we had the best fans in the world. It's one of the reasons that we won and stuff. And I always think it's baloney when they say that. But
it's true.
In that case, you realize the fans are so much because the atmosphere is gone.
Right.
There's the ebb and flow of the game is gone. And a lot of places, particularly in the NBA, they said that if they're on a 6-0 run, because of the fans, it turns into a 10-0 run.
Sure.
Or if the opponent is on a 14-0 run, or should be on a 14-0 run, because the fans, if you're playing at home, it turns into a 6-0 run. So that kind of helps you out.
I just think Miami got cheated in that series. And what I mean by that is I believe if they had to travel coast to coast, I believe Miami would have maybe even won that series. I just like the Heat in that. The Heat were really coming up, and I don't know. I just feel like they got cheated a little in that series.
I will say this. I think it's a championship. It's not one of my favorite.
It's not memorable.
It's not one of my favorite championships. It's definitely not a memorable championship, although in some regards it is, because I think at the end of the day, everybody was under the same pressure, if you will. Nobody had a home field advantage. Nobody had home court advantage. Like, everybody that was there had to be under the same restrictions, with the exception of Lou Will, who was given permission to go for chicken wings, aka see a little bit of that.
Can't blame him.
I'm not mad at him.
Who snuck the women in?
Nobody snuck it. They snuck out.
There were a few that snuck in there.
But it was a championship.
Broke the bubble.
Nonetheless, they won. It's tough. Like, it's one of those things where some players say, hey, look, it's a lot easier to shoot in the same gym over and over and over again, nobody in there. You look at Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray was activated. You look at Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero was activated. And then some of these guys can't have the same success once they get back into the real world. I just think, man, when you're dealing with a championship, having to fly to another city every other night or every couple of nights, having to listen to their crowd, listen to their fans, when you win like that, that really creates a championship. So I'm not going to say it's a fake championship. It's definitely not one of the more memorable ones in NBA
I tell you
history.
what pissed me off the most about COVID with team sports. Every time I cover a team, why do you win? They talk about it's not the superstars all the time. It's your role players. It's everybody on the same page. Yeah. You're my brother. But it wasn't that way for Tyler Bertuzzi. He wouldn't take the shot, so he couldn't play in Canada. So that hurt the Wings. Kyrie Irving.
It started for Kyrie in the bubble because remember, Kyrie didn't want the Nets to play in the bubble. That's where that stuff started with Kyrie. He didn't want the Nets to play in the bubble, and then obviously led to him not wanting the shot.
Football, football is number one. The team concept and brotherhood is just so strong. You can feel it, even though you're not on the team. And then when I saw guys stepping outside of that team thing and I'm doing my own thing, that disappointed me. I'm like, really? Come on, dude.
But you can do that in smaller sports, though. Like football, one thing about football, and yes, it is the sport that I play, But because there are so many players on a football team, you'll never be able to hold all the football. Like they'll never go away against the NFL. Because you know what the NFL does that other leagues don't do? Whether it's the MLB, whether it's the NHL, damn sure the NBA, they don't replace set players. See, when that stuff goes on in NFL teams or owners, they looking at you as another member of the 58 or the 61. You're replaceable. There's only a player or two or three or four or five that are irreplaceable. Anybody else, they pick and choose. So if guys are like, in order to play, in order to get my salary, I got to get the shot. Even if guys don't want to, they're going to get that shot because they know they will be replaced in the NFL. It's the one of the three or one of the four where they don't care about you. You're another guy in 58.
Hey, when we spin off of this, we should spin to what Kyrie Irving did last night on Twitch.
I am sick of him.
I'm just saying, when you say COVID, can we say that Kyrie is really the poster boy for COVID athletes?
Yes.
He took his stand.
Yeah.
He did not. You know what? He does his beliefs, and you don't like him, that's fine. You love him, great. But he stuck with his beliefs, and last night he kind of said, I'm all done with all this crap, and we're going to play it for you.
You know what, Fletch, if you have that, why don't we play that? Why don't we play all of it? Let the fans react to it, take a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back and react to it. Fletch, if you have it, throw it up there for the fans.
For 3 hours, and you think you know who I am. You see a few posts. Oh, Kai's woke. Kai got it. Oh, Kai is, oh my goodness, he just doesn't fit into the mold of all of the other people. And then, man, he's different. He's crazy. He's arrogant. He's this. He's that. He's this. All from seeing me from 3 hours. You get all that. Kai, what's Kai gonna do this summer? Does Kai like Dallas? What happened in Brooklyn? What happened in Boston? What happened in Cleveland? Why did you leave LeBron? Why did you leave Jason? Why did you leave Katie? Why did you leave all these people? For 3 hours. Get to ask all these legitimate questions. As if 21 hours every day wasn't happening after that. Me. You would think that I'm the cancer in the locker room, as if basketball is an individual sport that one person is supposed to take blame for. It's 15 guys on the team, and I'm the one cancer in the room. That's what it's portrayed as. That's what you guys get. That's what they have fun doing. That's why these older, bitter gentlemen and women keep my name in their mouths every day. You know, gambling and sports betting has completely taken the purity away and the fun away from the game at times. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. So, like, work is work, but the support around it can be very distracting. You know what I mean? There's a difference between being a diehard fan and supporting your team and loving your team versus somebody that's betting on a parlay or somebody that wants to hit. And don't get me wrong, I don't want anybody wasting their money on me. But god dang, like, this whole community of gamblers that's come into the game of basketball, y'all tell me what y'all think. Want to gamble? Why don't you gamble on something?
And this was the latest Kyrie rant. Look, a lot to unpack there, so take a second, take it all in, think about it. Let JB tell you about Guardian Alarm, and then we'll come back and unpack it all.
Yes, hopefully Kyrie Irving has some Guardian Alarm for him, but customized
They're gonna be at his gate.
Customized solutions from real experts.
Let us in,
They're
Kyrie.
professional technicians that take time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. With 24/7 professional monitoring, call anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone with you as long as needed. It's technology backed by people. Call this number right here, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Once again, that is 1-800-STAY-OUT. And let them know Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit. but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Hey, it's Maz for Big Boy. It's Friday during Lent. You know the scoop. It's the Seafood Fest, and it's back at Big Boy. Catch it while you can. Some favorites during Lent, especially on a Friday. The shrimp Alfredo, the shrimp stir fry, and the new fish sandwich. Don't forget the all-you-can-eat fish fry tonight, Friday nights, at Big Boy. Get there.
Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. I'm Edwards Braylon. This is Foster Terry. Terry, how you doing over there, brother?
Hanging in there, man. I always get steamed up when Kyrie Irving talks.
I saw you getting steamed over there, so I'll come to you first. Ladies and gentlemen, we showed Kyrie's latest rant last night on IG Live, and he was unpacking a lot, talking about being a cancer in different locker rooms. He also talked about gambling and the effect that has on players. I'll come to you first.
He had that sage stick going.
He did. You saw that. I'm glad you noticed that, man. He was burning the sage, much like he did at TD Garden in Boston. T, coming to you first. Talk about Kyrie and things that he had to say. Talking about not being a cancer just after knowing him for 3 hours.
Well, it's not for 3 hours. It's for a decade. That's why people have their opinions of him. The reason people call him a cancer is because he is a cancer.
Yeah.
He has selective memory. He didn't bring up the, not taking the COVID shot for the team. He's very selfish. He didn't bring up his
the Hebrews,
Jewish
Negro
stuff. He didn't bring that up. He didn't bring up how he ruined the New Jersey Nets. He didn't bring up how he couldn't get along with LeBron James after a while. And what's going to happen in Dallas, I actually thought it was going to work out for this season. But after this season, he'll find things he doesn't like with Dallas. He'll turn
Luka.
Luka Doncic after a while will start hating basketball because of Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving has all these problems, but it's everybody else's fault. It's the media's fault. It's the fans' fault. Not his fault, even though he brings it upon himself. Now, I'm not one of those people that tells athletes, dribble the ball and shut up.
Right.
But in
you're
his
not Fox.
Case,
you're
not
Fox.
Fox. I don't do that.
Hey, not local, national. We love Fox.
Come
local.
in,
check us out on Fox.
Dribble the ball, be a teammate, be a good teammate, care about your team, care about your city. And sometimes, as a professional athlete, you need to do things that you may not like to do, but it's for the team. I mean, I always quote your old coach, Bo. The team. He's getting paid, what was it, $47 million?
This year,
He's getting paid 40, a lot of money.
30, yeah.
And I will quote the great John Sally, who always told me, as far as money, it's not what you're worth, it's what you can negotiate. And also that pro athletes get paid not just to play ball, but to put up with BS from the fans, put up with criticism from the media. That's kind of that extra tax that they pay, or they get paid for. And Kyrie Irving is just, he's a fantastic, and the reason we put up with him is because the dude can play like nobody else.
Yeah. First of all, my father played for Bo Schembechler. I'm not quite that old. I'm 40, not 60 like Stan Edwards. Okay, I played for Lloyd Carr. Not Bo.
But he's still your boy, though.
He was.
He's everybody's boy.
Yes. Glenn E was my boy. Rest in peace. I cried when he passed away that Thursday. Yes. Side note, John Sally is big uncle of mine. Remind me to tell you a story before the show's over about John Sally, snow, shoveling, Palmer Woods. Okay. To talk about Kyrie, to echo your sentiments, this is the thing. One, he's amazing as a player. Like, he's arguably the best finishing point guard I've ever seen at the rim. His handles are elite. They're probably the best I've ever seen as well. Man, he's a damn amazing player in the NBA. But when I listen to him say he's not a cancer in the locker room, or it's not him, or you garner all this about me only in 3 hours of watching me on the court, or this is what you're trying to say, and you're projecting. No, we're not projecting, Kyrie Irving. This is what you showed us. And what Terry Foster just said, this is what Kyrie Irving has been. He left the Cleveland Browns after winning an NBA Finals, NBA championship, because he said that LeBron takes too much. He's too much of a distraction. Everything LeBron has going on, it's just too much. I just want to play basketball. These were Kyrie Irving's words. I just want to play basketball and prove that I can do it on my own. He goes to Boston, blows it up there in Boston as well with with Danny Ainge and those guys, Jason Tatum and young guys. He had young bulls in that team. They go to Eastern Conference Finals without Kyrie, by the way. They went without Kyrie. Kyrie didn't want to play. He and that Danny Ainge got into it. That's when he starts going to Sage all around TD Garden, like the energy and the spirits are evil in here. I understand you may have heat with this president of a basketball organization, but you can't go on the court and spray sage and say, hey, it's evil up in here. We got to get rid of all this. You can't do things like that, Kyrie. Then you go to the Nets. Then you convince James. Then you convince your boy KD to come over there. KD followed you because KD just want to hoop. Like KD doesn't want to. He just want to play basketball. He said, KD, Kyrie, you got to play.
I think KD wanted to go to the Knicks.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. And Kyrie said, come over here. And then once you like it, we'll get James. They got James to be dumb, and he came over there too. Long story short, y'all saw what it was. He blew that up. He didn't want to get the shot. Blew it all, damned it all to hell. And now look at everybody. Everybody had to get the hell out of there. What this rant is about to me is it's a lot of that in there. I think it's about what happened Sunday, and nobody's talking about it. JB, I think it was Sunday. You know what happened Sunday? He played against KD on Sunday for the first time since they both been gone. KD is his boy. KD is the only one that had his back during all this Michigan guys, all this crazy stuff. KD's had his back.
To a certain extent, but I think that...
Right, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
KD didn't speak to him. KD was 2 seconds away and said he didn't speak to him. KD, his best friend, wouldn't speak to him, wouldn't talk to him. And everybody looked at it and everybody blamed Kyrie. I think that pushed him over the edge and that led to one of these rants. Whenever people go on rants, Maz, it's warranted by
they've
something.
had it.
Something has pushed them to a level where it's too much, and I think it was him not talking to KD on Sunday.
Hey, he was to blame for the fallout in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You said it. I don't have to regurgitate it. I will say this. New York had the stupidest rules ever. Yeah, he didn't get the
vaccine.
The vaccine. He didn't get the vaccine, and I'm not blaming him for that.
But are people mad at Kyrie now? Because now a lot of people are happy they didn't get vaccines or didn't get vaccinated.
I'm just saying, I'm not mad at him for that. I never was.
Gotcha.
If that's what his belief is, don't get it.
Yeah.
But then New York let other players come in from other cities and play, and they were unvaccinated. But they would not let him on the same freaking court. You know what they told him, Terry? Go sit in the stands. So he could sit in the stands, but they wouldn't let him play. So New York...
Then he got in trouble for doing that.
Yes. New York had it all ass backwards to begin with. And I'm from New York, New Jersey area. I was ashamed of the way they handled the coronavirus. But he was a disgrace. The way he didn't want to play sometimes he wanted to play. He got Jason Kidd, Steve Nash. Don't tell me that he wasn't the one that got him there, and he's the one that got him fired. Brooklyn is a disaster now. The Nets are a disaster. So he takes his basketball and he goes to play in Dallas. He gets away with what he caused, which was a horrible thing, what he caused in Brooklyn. Now he gets to go away and do his thing. KD didn't talk to him. I don't blame him one bit for not talking to him.
He's over.
It's going to take a while for them to get back together. They will, but it's going to take a while. But I don't begrudge him for not getting a shot. I just begrudge him for being a jackass most of the time, because that's what he is most of the time. But from what I understand, he's a good dude. He gives to charities. Yeah. But you know what? He speaks his mind. You don't like it. You don't like it.
You're a good dude.
You don't like it. You don't like it. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. People that take the time know with charities a lot of times. Like, if you can, to your point, you don't have to be a good guy because you could be doing it just to be doing it. But I think when you see people do enough things and give their time enough to different things, guys don't have to do that. So I think he is a good guy. I just think there are a lot of elements in there in which he's both. He's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He's not the only interesting case that we had sports-wise during COVID-19. Maz, there was an interesting thing that happened in the NFL. There was an interesting thing that happened with a receiver getting reinstated this year. I believe the receiver's name is Calvin Ridley, and he's now going to be playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Calvin Ridley, if you guys do not remember, Calvin Ridley in the 2021 season, he bet, and when I say bet, one of the sports books, he bet on the NFL, and more specifically, he bet on the Atlanta Falcons, his team. And lately, since he's been reinstated, he wrote a pen letter through the Players Tribune, and this is actually a quote from it. I effed up in 2021. I made the worst mistake of my life by gambling on football. I paid the price. Believe me, I've seen all the jokes. I've seen all the hate. I can shoulder all of that. No problem. All I want is for people to understand that when I made those bets, there was a hell of a lot more going on with me. I won't read the rest. We'll just talk about it. Fletch, appreciate that. Maz, your first thoughts on when you read this pen letter by Calvin Ridley of the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Well, I think he's admitting that he was in a dark place. He was depressed. You know, players are using depression. Let's face it, it's part of everyday life. You see it on TV, all the prescription drugs that are out there. I don't know what to even call it, to be honest with you, but mental illness it's a strong thing. People have it, and some people deal with it, some people can't deal with it. Now it's in sports, and let's look at Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons has been going through this for a couple of years, and you get to take time away from the game. You get to sit out. It's just another thing. It's like if you have a headache or if you have something bad with your knee or your foot or whatever, mental illness is being used as that. I feel that he went out on the Players Tribune to put this letter out there for some damage control because he's been off for a year. First of all, the NFL suspended him for a whole year for betting, and I forget how little. Do you remember how little the bet was?
$1,500.
It was $1,500 that he wagered while he was sitting on his couch, and I think he was injured at the time, or something was up with him, and he used his own phone instead of his friend is right there. His friend could have put that bet in for him, but he was just, I guess, not thinking. So he went on his phone. You know how easy it is to bet on these things, to do anything on these things. So he puts a bet in, and it gets tracked. The NFL finds out about it. The NFL's in bed with all these bookmakers, the MGM and Points Bet, what have you, FanDuel. They're in bed with them.
Right.
That's how they're making their money now. So it gets back to the NFL. They take a stand. They suspend him for the whole year, which I thought was a joke to begin with, suspending him for the whole year. So now he's coming back fresh. He signs a deal with Jacksonville. He just got reinstated, and he says, I'm going to put up 1,400 plus yards for Jags and Trevor Lawrence. I'm coming back smoking. And I'll tell you, Jacksonville's going to be a team to deal with this year.
Maz, I agree with a lot of what you said, but I disagree in the sense that, I feel like you made kind of light of what he was saying in that letter. I don't think he penned this letter to do damage control because at the end of the day, he's already signed to the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's already done. The damage is done. He served his 4-year sentence. He doesn't owe anybody anything. What I took from what I read was he basically explained to you how easy it is to judge somebody on making a mistake and doing something stupid without having all the facts. When I read this, when I looked at this young man, what I saw was he's been going through hurt his whole freaking life. He's been going through pain and suffering, and he's been going through mental health, but he's been able to compartmentalize it, and he's kept doing it. And then once he got injured, if you read the letter and he talks about what he played through that year, he had 1,309 yards, pills and shots. And I know exactly that potion he's talking about. Pills during the week to get you through. You get the Toradol shot on Sunday. You play out there on Sunday. You go through it. And then you start that process all over again, man. It is a painful process. It is one that weighs on your spirit, weighs heavily. And so when he's missing time and he's going through it, and when he finally breaks down, his body breaks down, his mental breaks down, he can't take that journey because now he doesn't want to do anything but lay up under his wife because he's mentally just tapped out. So when they had that trip over to London, and he finally tell the coach, I can't do it. I can't do it because I don't want to be away from my wife. I'm that close to her. I'm that depressed. I'm that mental. So just going through all that, man, it took a lot to expose some of the things he did, the relationship with his father and his mother, how they were living that fast life, selling drugs and doing some other things that were illegal, and him raising himself since he was 8. I know all these sound like excuses, but everything is a path until it finally erupts.
But here's what I don't get.
Right.
I'm depressed. I might drink too much. I might do drugs. Might get some hookers or stuff. I'm not thinking about, let me put some bets on NFL games. I'm depressed. There's a lot of other things that you can do. I do think it was a little bit of an excuse from his standpoint. And
well, let's you know what? Let's take a commercial. Let's come back to that because I disagree with you. And let's get into that. Custom Health by you, JB.
Yes, don't let your body break down on you. Get your customized approach to weight loss. Think of all the ways weight affects your health, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Custom Health Centers is blessed to have had over 20,000 success stories. It is their honor to help many professional athletes lose weight and improve their health. People like Detroit Lion Eddie Murray and Detroit Piston Rick Mahorn. Start losing weight today. Call Dr. Jason at Custom Health Center at 844-789-8446. Once again, that is 844-789-8446.
Well,
you don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards on a Friday. It's 40 degrees outside. You know, it's snow, but there's no snow on the ground, so we're doing okay. Terry Foster's sitting there with me.
I want to reach out and say happy birthday to our favorite girl on the chat, our den mother.
Is it
Tammy Chin? Happy birthday, Tammy.
Tammy Chin, happy
we love
birthday.
You.
Appreciate all the support.
Tammy's on all the shows.
She's
Absolutely.
the best. She's on all the shows. She's here from the morning show. She's here to the heavyweights. She's always showing love at Pro Sports Zone over there with John Yu. Tammy Chin, happy
She is
birthday.
the ultimate sports fan.
She is.
Ultimate.
She is indeed. Right before we went to commercial break, Terry, you and I were talking about Calvin. Really, I think you and I are on the opposite side of things here. Talk about why you think it was an excuse on his part with the letter, if you will.
Even though he was reinstated, I still think the NFL has a long arm. I think he was afraid of future repercussions. He was afraid that they might come back and get him again. But he's putting out I was depressed and I was in a bad way. I was in a dark light. Yeah, I read it.
Okay.
I was in a dark way. I still think he wants to make sure they don't get him down the road. I just don't get, if I'm depressed, I'm having problems in the dark way, I'm gonna gamble on NFL games. That's my way to put me in a better place.
But
there's so many other things you can do.
But I don't think that's fully a part of the initial, this is how I'm coping, is, oh my God, I'm in a dark room, I'm coping. Let me place a bet on the game. I think it's more than that. I think at the end of the day, like, he's on suspension. He probably blowing trees. He probably drinking. He probably got girls around. He's probably got boys around. They probably just getting after it a little bit. And it's just in the middle of getting after it and being depressed and with the other thing. Things don't make sense to you when you're in that mode. Trust me, I've been there. Like, when you're in that mode and things don't make sense and you're coping or you're dealing, like, sometimes things don't make sense to you. You just do things that aren't logical. You do things that don't make sense. You do things just because there's something to do in that moment. And one of those things could be bad. Because if this is why I think, and one, he's an NFL brother. Two, he's a wide receiver. So maybe I'm already biased on his side. But if you're going to really place a bet and you're really looking to hit and make damage and you're like really like F it and I know what's going on, but I think I'm above it, wouldn't you place more than $1,500, man? Like, if you're really just going to say, the hell with the NFL, I could do what I want. They suspended me. You know what, boom, $1,500 is how you slap it to the NFL and you know it's illegal or you potentially know it's illegal. I just can't buy that, man.
Supposedly, that was his first bet. He didn't even know how to bet.
I didn't know how to bet.
That's what I mean.
You and Ryan taught me.
Oh, yeah, I know. So I think Braylon might be right on this one, Terry. It's just something that he just did in the moment when he was doing all these other things. He's just looking around. He's probably not even paying attention. But he sees his team going to play on TV. He's like, all right, let me check this out or something. I could see that happening.
I've heard
maybe he just did it. You just do
willy-nilly,
right?
Willy-nilly.
Yeah.
I don't think he created the bet because he was in a dark place.
Correct.
He was doing stuff.
I just think too. I think a part of this too is Ben Simmons has kind of messed it up too when you claim mental health. I think Ben Simmons, and I don't mean that jokingly. I mean that seriously. Let's take a second and think about that. When you think mental health now, and you think an athlete, when you think an athlete claiming mental health, first thing come to mind is who? Is that MF for Ben Simmons.
Yep.
And you're like, nah. So now anybody that comes with, whether it's Simone Biles, who's pulling out of Olympic events, this reeks of Ben Simmons. Whether it's Calvin Ridley,
Michael, what's his name?
Calvin Ridley, who pens this whole letter. Calvin Ridley didn't have to expose his parents for being drug dealers and into the prostitution. He didn't have to expose that. Like, if you want to expose something just to kind of, I want to maybe get them off my back and let them know I'm here for the long run, you can come up with some other stories that make sense. You're not exposing stories like that just to be like, I want, just as an excuse. That's why I just think it's deeper. I think he's giving us him, and because he wants a fresh start. Like, I think this has been on his mind for a very long time, probably in college, probably NFL, and now he has a fresh start in Jacksonville. He's like, shoot, let me just air it all, get it all off. Now Jacksonville is a fresh start for me, my wife, and my daughter.
Hey, if you guys remember back in the day, there was a guy named Greg Oden.
It was.
Greg Oden got drafted #1.
2007.
It just didn't work out for Greg Oden in Portland. It was another Sam Bowie. It just did not work out. And he came out and he has said that he battled depression. He didn't want to leave the freaking house in Portland. He was ashamed. And so it's been going for years and years and years.
And I think now, Terry, I'm going to bring it back to you. I think now athletes have a voice now. I think athletes feel comfortable like sharing these stories. They feel comfortable in talking about it. Because Greg Oden denied depression for a very long time. I was in Ohio when he was playing for Ohio State and he got drafted. I was playing for the Cleveland Browns, and all they talked about with this kid was, all the great stuff. And then as soon as he started getting injured when he was with Portland, I was still in Cleveland. Oh, man, he's an ugly LeBron James. He really couldn't hoop no way. It was Michael Conley. Oh, this big softy. He's a Sam Bowie Jr. Like, all that he's dealing with, and all he's doing is really just being an injured player that can't play because he's injured. And now all of a sudden, like, he's going through mental health. Now he doesn't even want to be in the spotlight. But because the Joker's 7'1", you can't hide, so now you got to stay in the house.
Well, and you're drafted ahead of Kevin Durant. That is a huge thing right there.
That's true.
And if you remember back in the day, they were trying to make, I don't know, justify him being picked #1. And you saw film of Kevin Durant can't lift 180 pounds and stuff like that. See, so that there was something to that too. But it's sort of like Clyde Drexler with
Drexler's what,
they
81
didn't draft
he's
Jordan
82.
because they had Clyde Drexler, and Jordan, every time he played him, I'm showing this mug.
Yeah.
That even if he's on this team, they should have picked me too.
In the words of MJ, and I took it personal.
He could have been the next Pippen. Clyde Drexler.
This is true. Clyde always played like a Pippen too. He played like a Pippen, like that could really score.
Oh, he was a terrific player.
Like he was great. Like
the only thing I didn't like about him is when he dribbled, he had to look down at the ball. He's supposed to just dribble and go up the court.
I get it. It's like typing. I got to look down too. You don't look down, probably, right?
No.
When you type, you're a big shot.
I'm like a 1 foot. I'm like a 1 finger type.
Yeah, I'm a pecker.
Yes, you are.
Yes, of course. Lay myself out there for that. Hey, on the chat, Grit on the chat.
Grit always has some great comments.
Here's what he writes. When are we going to address Maz's post? So I write him, do you mean the Matthew Stafford post? And he writes back with all the laughing emojis.
Yes.
Yes. We're going to talk about Matthew Stafford.
You know what?
Because he's available.
Let's talk about Matthew Stafford. Since you bring it up, great talk, great transition back into the NFL. Terry, you hear that, man? Les Snead, man, they're playing coy right now, but some feel that they're really trying to get rid of Bobby Wagner, Leonard Floyd, Matt Stafford, as well as Jalen Ramsey. This is according to Pro Football Talk. Rams general manager Les Snead indicates that he's not going to trade Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, or Aaron Donald. Ladies and gentlemen, what this exactly means, he is definitely going to trade Matthew Stafford, Aaron Donald, or Jalen Ramsey. It does not matter.
He is a liar.
He's a liar.
And you know who called him a liar?
You.
NFL Network's Michael Lombardi yesterday on the Pat McAfee show. Give a listen to this. It's about a minute length.
I caught the tail end of an interview you were doing the other day. Did I hear you say a team really wanted to, they could go get Kirk Cousins or Matt Stafford right now?
Oh, Matt Stafford's fully available. For Matt Stafford, they would love to trade. They can't do it because he's got $57 million guaranteed.
Hold on, though.
There's a lot of
Do we know he's playing? Do we know he's playing? We're 100% sure he's playing.
Well, he says he is playing, but but Pat, his contract, he's got 26 million of an option bonus on the third day of the league year, and he's got 31 million in paragraph 5 on the third day of the league year. All of that is guaranteed. Okay, that's 57 million.
That's good.
Now,
Whoever worked that,
guaranteed, when I say guaranteed, that's for skill and injury. So it doesn't matter if you can't play or not.
Out of Detroit to LA with this contract. Win a Super Bowl. You're in commercials. What a dream for Stafford to do this.
He's got $57 million coming to him no matter what. The Rams, what are they going to do? They're trying to get out from it. So I don't really want to hear the bullshit that, we're not trying to trade him. Yes, you are. You've called teams. I know this. I know this. Okay?
Yep.
And so, I don't really care what they say. They all lie about it. I lied about it.
I don't really care what they say. They're lying. You heard Michael Lombardi, and shout out to Pat McAfee. That was
they probably are.
That was audio from the Pat McAfee show. These guys are lying. They're trying to get rid of him, but herein lies the challenge with that, Mass. Herein lies the challenge.
Can they trade Aaron Donald alongside him? Can we have a package deal?
Probably.
No. You got to call Maz out. Hang on. Maz wants to bring him to Detroit.
Hold on. Before we deal with that foolishness, who the hell in the NFL is going to take a broken down Matt Stafford at 34 years old? Is Matt Stafford?
Yes, sir.
34, 35 this year. Broken down Matt Stafford.
No, he's 57.
No, he's not.
As a million.
57 million will be what you owe Matt Stafford this Tuesday.
Rams are going to pay him.
What team has an offensive line equipped to protect Matt Stafford for $57 million on this Tuesday? Because if Matt Stafford's your quarterback now, you got lucky, Los Angeles. Y'all snuck an amazing year out of Matt Stafford, and you protected him behind Andrew Whitworth. Andrew Whitworth is gone. Who the hell is protecting Matt Stafford? Because last time I checked, it looked a little bit like Tom looked last year.
Frank Ragnow, according to Maz.
Got a great line, man, and I'll probably add to it this year.
So you're not seriously considering bringing.
Okay, I'm going to bring it up to you.
Let him speak.
Let me put it in English to you.
You better speak this in pig language.
Sean McVay traded for Matthew Stafford to do what?
Win a Super Bowl.
Did he?
Yes.
What makes you think that the Lions can't do the same thing?
Ain't no Aaron Donald on Detroit Lions defense. Neither is there Jalen Ramsey.
Not yet, Jalen Ramsey.
Matthew, are you freaking serious?
I'm a Matthew Stafford fan. Always was.
It's nothing. Listen. It's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I'm a Ron Isley fan. I do not want to go see Ron Isley try to do Isley comparative to 1970. I want to go see that.
You talking about the Isley brothers?
The Isley brothers.
You know, I used to hang out with the Isley brothers.
Lies. Cap.
No.
Cap.
No.
Cap.
Frank Isley was my buddy.
We
hung out for.
You just made that name up.
No, Frank Isley. You look him up.
I'm joking.
His dad was Kelly Isley.
You just made up another name, man.
Ronald Isley is a Frank's
You just made
uncle.
another one up.
No, I didn't. You look it up. The Isley brothers from Jersey. I was in their mansion almost every day. Okay,
man, this is
the truth, the God's honest truth.
We're gonna get back to the story, JB. Right now, tell us about Fairway, because those steaks are for real.
Yes, these steaks are for real, and it's something that you cannot make up either. If you're looking for a way to elevate dinner tonight, choose Fairway Packing Company, family owned and operated since 1956. Try their Burrata Blend burgers, award-winning Chop House steaks, or impress your friends with that dry-aged Wagyu tomahawk steak. See why top chefs in the country choose Fairway. Visit their steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods or order online to ship anywhere. Visit fairwaypacking.com for more details. It's Fairway Packing Company. Source, cut, aged, packed to perfection.
Perfection.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. pros to Joes, you'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Jumpin' Puck. Saturdays, 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Be sure to check with Swiss Insurance this week for your commercial insurance review. Swiss can help make sure that you have the proper coverage. All you got to do is give them a try. Swiss Insurance Group. Check out my man Mark at SwissInsurance.com. Back with Maz and T-Foss. How you guys doing today, man?
I'm doing great. I just learned so much about Maz today.
We about to get into it. I already know where
Maz wants to bring in Matthew Stafford.
Oh, my God.
And he hung out with the Isley brothers almost every day.
Maz is that guy, man. You didn't know that? JB Fletch.
I tell you, don't be jealous. Don't be a hater.
Don't be a T-Foss. Don't be a hater all your life, man. That's what we said.
Don't be a hater.
I'm not hating. I'm laughing.
T-Foss. Matt Stafford to Detroit Lions, man. Please tell me no. T-Foss.
No, I'm not going to tell you no.
You're not going to tell me no?
No, I'm going to tell you hell no.
Hell no.
Oh, hell no.
And young man Matthew, or Maz over here thinks, well, why? He went to L.A. to win a Super Bowl. Why can't he do it with the Lions? You know why? Because he's broken down. He's not the quarterback of 2 years ago. He talked about retirement. And when you talk about retirement, guess what? Retire. You done.
You know, when he was talking about retire, you know what scene I imagined in my head? I know you guys are Any Given Sunday fans. Remember when Cap Rooney was talking about retiring? He was like, nah, you know, Willie can go in and have it. I'm retiring.
Willie Beeman?
And his wife slapped the dog. You know what, Adam? She said, you're the
That's
goddamn
Kelly.
quarter. Yes,
that's Kelly.
That's Kelly.
That's Kelly.
That's her name, too. It's Kelly Rooney.
Yeah, and Kelly did slap Matthew back.
She slapped the piss out of him. What? You're the goddamn quarterback for the Miami Sharks. Yeah, you're right, T-Foss.
Yeah. Don't bring him back here. I don't care how good the Lions' offensive line is. I don't care what weapons they have. I don't care that the Lions are on the ascent. Do not bring Matthew Stafford back here to Detroit.
Don't you think it would be a great story?
It would be a great story,
Not at $57
but a
million
disaster of an ending.
57 on Tuesday, that's tough.
Here's
Everything
the thing,
that you've been doing
Here's
goes
the thing
out
about
the window.
sports. You can't go home.
Yeah.
You can't go home. Once you leave,
Jordan
you
came
can't
home.
come back.
Jordan did.
That's different, though. Like you
He
can't
didn't really go away.
You
He
can't
just
be
went to baseball
you can't
for a
be forced
minute.
out. Jordan had to take a break. We all know that. Like you can't be forced out and come back unless you're Darius Slay.
That's fine.
And plus, it's
Darius
Jordan.
Slay
Dude.
might be able to come back.
Listen, if you're giving me a choice of sign Lamar Jackson or bring Matthew Stafford back, I'd rather have Lamar Jackson. That's
Okay.
all.
Well, that wasn't your option.
I understand that.
Talk on that Lamar Jackson. Talk on that Lamar Jackson thing. Here's why I said talk on that. Let's be serious investors in Lamar Jackson for 2 seconds.
I was bowling last night. Okay.
Okay.
You know how many guys came up to me and said, "Maz, I'm with you. I'm with you. Lamar Jackson here. We're going right to the Super Bowl."
Yeah, I know. 0.
No, at least a half a dozen. At least a half a dozen.
At least a half dozen.
Came over to me and said, we want him. He'd be phenomenal here. And I brought up the Jets. I'm like, I think the Jets should take him instead of Aaron Rodgers. Because right now, Aaron Rodgers, supposedly the Packers are looking for a number 1 pick. I'm not giving up a number 1 pick to get Aaron Rodgers if I'm the Jets. I'd give up two number ones.
Desperate?
They are, but I'd give up two number ones to get Lamar Jackson if I was the Jets. But to bring it back here, you don't want Lamar Jackson here? Let's put Matthew Stafford on the side right now. Because it is a pipe dream.
Because that's where he belongs.
It's $57 million. I understand the implications.
There's nobody for Matt Stafford to play for this year. I don't think the Rams can have him play for this year.
Well, he's going to be in my fill-in-the-blank Friday, so I'm going to bring it up for you a little bit later.
Matt Stafford is going to be
Matthew Stafford's going to be on my fill-in-the-blank Friday.
Somewhere.
He's going to play for somebody. We don't know who yet.
How much does the CFL pay for a starting quarterback?
Are you really serious?
USFL is back.
I didn't say the USFL, the XFL. I said the Canadian.
XFL is available.
This is very true, JB. Here's a way to extend this segment. Here's a way to extend this. Talk about Matt Stafford. Before Matt Stafford left the Detroit Lions, everybody was asking that question, is Matt Stafford a Hall of Famer? Obviously, you look at the numbers, you look at the first to do this and the first to do that, and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of Matt Staffords, of course, Matt Stafford's a Hall of Famer. A lot of us real people, no, not even close. Matt Stafford wins the Super Bowl last season, and all of a sudden everybody says what? Matt Stafford's a Hall of Famer. Now,
Yes.
whether it's a first ballot, whether it's a second, whether it's a third, Matt's a Hall of Famer. Now, take a look at the next season after Matt left. Not only did he not finish the season, he gets hurt. Then there's talk about retirement. Then there's talk about shopping him. Is Matt Stafford still a Hall of Famer, Matt?
Of course.
Is he?
Yeah, he will be. By the time his career is over, he will have Hall of Fame numbers and credentials to get in and can't.
Terry, was the Hall of Fame for Matt Stafford? I want people in the chat. Reach out in the chat. Am I making this up? Is Matt Stafford still a Hall of Famer based on the current trajectory? Is he or is he not? The reason why I asked that question is everyone was saying that kind of based on the trajectory that we saw. We saw him go to L.A. We saw him at 5,000 yards passing. We saw a Super Bowl. It looked like they could keep things rolling. But now all of a sudden he falls apart year 2, and now it's talking about being shopped year 3.
Yeah, but you're going to fall apart at some point as a professional athlete. He won the Super Bowl.
He got hurt.
That's etched in stone. Yes, he got hurt.
What if he retires? What?
I say he's still a Hall of Fame. It's not that hard to make the Hall of Fame in football.
Oh.
It's not baseball. This, if we're talking the baseball credentials, he wouldn't get in. But this is football. He'll get in. People like him.
Look at that
They'll
last
vote him
class
in.
that got in. You even made fun of that
It was
last
horrible.
class.
It was.
So you're not going to put him in?
Stafford, it's just interesting right now because I'm thinking about it like this. Matt Stafford wasn't a Hall of Famer before he left Detroit, and then he did leave, and then he did get a ring. He made the Pro Bowl. He had 5,000 yards, just under 5,000 yards. No, yeah, he had 5,000 because he and Brady were the only one to throw for 5,000. But now all of a sudden he's got hurt last year. He didn't finish the season. Not got hurt after like 13 games. He got hurt after game 4, game 5. Didn't finish. And now they're talking about potentially shopping him to another team or potentially him retiring. If he retires like this or if it's done as of this, I don't think I put him in the Hall of Fame.
That's up to you.
Yeah, that's your prerogative.
He's got,
but based on what he did in Detroit alone,
right?
He was a borderline Hall of Famer. He still could have gotten in.
You can't get in the Hall of Fame with no playoff wins as a quarterback. Like I'm not.
I think he would have gotten in.
No, it's not. You're not talking about Joe Thomas, who's a left tackle who doesn't have any playoff wins. It's not Joe Thomas's fault. You're talking about a quarterback that played 12 years and had no playoff wins? Hell no.
He played for the Lions, though.
You're talking about, like, people argue whether...
Dude, listen, he played for the Lions.
People argue whether if Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer, although we know he is. They argue if he's a Hall of Famer. He got 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Stafford didn't have 1 playoff win.
But Eli Manning, besides the times he won the Super Bowl, couldn't even get his team to the playoffs.
Right.
He was a guy that was...
I got another one for you. He was in the same draft class. Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is another guy where people are like,
He wants to come back now.
I don't know if he does want to come back. He's not stupid because the 49ers are a Super Bowl team with no quarterback.
He can't throw 40 yards.
He don't need to throw 40 yards. Christian McCaffrey and Debo are your offensive weapons. Just hand them the ball off and get the hell out the way. But going back to Phillip Rivers, we don't know if Phillip Rivers is going to get in the Hall of Fame. He definitely got more playoff wins than Matt Stafford. That's all I'm saying. I don't think Stafford...
I think Phillip Rivers will get in eventually.
I think he should get in.
He will eventually. Mm-hmm. Especially if he comes back now and leads someone to a Super Bowl. But that's neither here nor there. But anyway, the Rams have Matthew Stafford on the block, along with some other players as well. So we'll see. Maybe the Lions will get involved in one of those players. I'm not sure who yet, but we'll see who.
I mean, I think it'd be interesting. Going back to the Lions with Lamar Jackson, the thing for me is this. I think what Ben Johnson has been offensively, what he's built offensively wise, like it took a while to build that system. It took a while to get comfortable with Jared Goff in that system. You know, it was whether it was whether it was Anthony Lynn to Dan Campbell to then Ben Johnson to now Ben Johnson. It took a while to build that system, and they built it for Jared Goff. I think it'll be tough to bring in Lamar Jackson at this point because it's two different systems that you're going to have. And Jared Goff's a more unmobile quarterback. He's a pocket passer, and you're doing a lot of play action stuff. With Lamar, you're going back to college. It's like a college system you're running for him because with our
let me ask you guys this.
Yeah.
Flat out. Just answer this
Give
question.
it to us straight.
Yeah, flat out.
This year with the Detroit Lions, would you rather have, if everything is equal, money is equal, would you rather have Jared Goff quarterback, Matthew Stafford quarterback them, or Lamar Jackson quarterback them? I'm giving you, pick one.
The year coming up.
All the money is equal.
Yeah.
For the next year, I'll say for the next 2 years.
So $31 million.
For the next 2 years, you could have one of those three quarterbacks lead your team. Who are you taking?
I would have to be smoking crack to not take Lamar Jackson.
So it don't matter what the offense looks like. You're still taking him.
This is what I would do, yeah. But I'm not.
Me too.
I'm not a GM, nor am I the head coach of the Detroit Lions. I don't have anybody to answer to. Like, so you're asking me, hell yeah, I'm going Lamar Jackson because I think it puts butts in seats. I think it gives you the best chance to win.
Butts are in seats anyway.
Yeah, they're going to be there anyway.
They're coming.
Brother. This is not Eastern
They
Michigan.
don't care if they bring back Rusty Hilton. They're going to be there.
This is butts in seats nationwide watching the Detroit Lions games. That's what I mean by butts and seats. I ain't talking about Ford Field. I'm talking about that national appeal. People are tuning into the Detroit Lions. Definitely put Lamar Jackson in there. And if he can stay if he can stay not hurt, you might get lucky and get to the Super Bowl.
How about you,
it
Terry?
can never be equal. I don't want to give up those 2 first-round picks. Or whatever you got to give up for Lamar Jackson.
One this year, one next year.
I don't want to give them up.
That leaves you with one this year.
Right.
And a bunch of 2s, 3s,
Still don't
and
want
4s.
to give them up. I still think this team doesn't need to get younger, but they need to bring in talent.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
They're the second youngest team in the league.
I understand that.
Experience
They
now.
need to bring in talent, experience. You want to go to the free agency. They're still building. They're not. I mean, what was their record last year? It was 9-8. Yes, they had a wonderful
plus
ending. But see, I think a lot of this has to do with teams don't take the Lions seriously. Next year is going to be more difficult because teams from Jump Street are going to say, you know what? This team is the team that we have to game plan for. They're serious,
and that's why we got to get some. And that's why we got to get some experienced veterans. That's why you got to get the veterans because now the big dogs are coming in. Mm-hmm. Now the big dogs are coming in. Speaking of big dogs, let's talk about SMA and what they do for mental health. SMA is here for mental health, mental illness. They are trying to destigmatize mental health. Sean Jordan and NFL Alumni Association of Detroit do an amazing job of providing you content, information, and the conversation. Go to thesportsma.com if you or anybody you know is suffering. Look, it's okay to suffer. It's okay to not be okay. But where do you go when you need the information? You go to thesportsma.com.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hey, it's Maz for Cousins Maine Lobster and cousinsmainelobster.com. Do us a favor, click on that QR code right on the side of my big mug there and vote for Cousins Maine Lobster as the food truck of the year. They are up for it, and if they win it, you have a chance to win yourself a $300 gift card from Visa. Go to freep.com, the best of Detroit, and on Facebook, follow them at facebook.com/CML Detroit for Cousins Maine Lobster Detroit. Vote for them as many times as you can. Let's get them a win because they truly deserve it, and they earn it. Trust me, it's the best seafood in New England, except they're serving it right here in Detroit. It's cousinsmadelobster.com.
Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards, 15 minutes into the second hour of the show. Just want to remind you, check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you subscribe to podcasts, Twitter, Twitch, doesn't matter. Drop us a like. We really would appreciate that. Maz.
Yes, sir.
You know what? Would you like to go around the NFL, or would you like to make it a fill-in-the-blank Friday?
Let's fill in the blanks.
Maz, take over. Fill-in-the-blank Friday, sir.
All right, boys. Let's start it off. So we do it every Friday. Here we go. We've been talking about it. Lamar Jackson will play for blank. Terry.
He will play for a lot of money with the Miami Dolphins.
The Miami Dolphins.
Ooh.
Wow.
Terry's starting off hot. Miami
I like
Dolphins.
that.
And you know what makes that interesting is they just actually freed up money. Tyreek Hill, Nick Chubb, as well as Terran Armstead all took deals to restructure their contract. So they freed up $18 million there, Terry.
What do you like about that, T?
Tua, we don't know what Tua's going to be.
Yeah.
They lie, so he's going to be fine and everything. But he got rocked twice last year. He didn't know his name at the end of the season.
He's taking jiu-jitsu now, so he learned how to fall.
Yes, he learned how to fall. Yeah, I heard that.
That's why
that scares me.
Hold on, man. Hold on. Put the camera on Maz. Maz, do that again. Do the high.
Yeah.
You know what? That's more like Tai Chi, man.
That was more like Cobra Kai 30 years later. That's what that was.
That was way too slow. I'd be already down and out. I'd already be down and out already.
Anyway,
Miami Dolphins, Lamar Jackson. I never even thought of that.
Okay.
That's good.
That's good.
That is good, especially considering they restructured today. Those three guys, they're 3 stars. I mean, you're talking about Lamar with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson. That would be the fastest backfield maybe in the history of the NFL. And then you add those wide receivers. I'm going to stick with something that Maz has been saying. I'm going to stay here. I know I heard the other day that they were out on Lamar Jackson, much like the Carolina Panthers. But everybody's lying this time around, man.
Liars.
They're all liars.
Liars.
They're liars. Everybody's lying right now, and I think the Atlanta Falcons are another team
They
that
are
is lying.
liars.
I feel like the Atlanta Falcons is trying to say they're out, trying to get everybody else to kind of go out on, and then when they come back, the tag is not as big. The tag isn't as much. They're not fighting with as many people. Look, they took a $60 million cap hit last year for a reason. Like, they ate that on the chin. They've built their team the way they wanted to build it. They were last year in terms of fans in the seats, in terms of fans coming to the game. You had Lamar Jackson, you changed all that instantly. Not to mention you got a guy, MVP year 2. You know what Lamar Jackson brings to the field.
The return of Michael Vick.
There it is. They've been starving for that player, even with Matt Ryan. They love Matt Ryan, but you can't have a Michael Vick and then have anything else. Like, once you have a Mike and Vick experience, it's never the same. Like, Matt Ryan, they love Matt Ryan. They appreciate Matty Ice. He was not Michael Vick. And they're looking for a Mike Vick. And guess what? His name is New Era, Lamar Jackson.
And you know what? It will work out great in Atlanta. Just keep Lamar away from the dogs.
Yeah, please.
He'll be fine.
Technically, the dogs were in Virginia. The dogs were in Virginia, Mike's hometown.
Bad Kennel?
Not
What was that
ATL.
called? Bad Kennel?
I was actually supposed to go. I got invited to go the year that he got busted.
Ooh.
I was supposed to go because I told you. Remember I told you about the quarterback challenge?
I'm glad you
I
didn't
went
go.
to that. Yeah,
You glad that flight was late?
Are you ready?
How'd you know, though?
Are you ready
It
for
definitely
this?
was a flight late. I'm ready for you, man.
Lamar Jackson will play for the New York Jets.
The Jets.
Ooh,
The
boy.
Jets. I feel
I'll
the
Aaron
Aaron
pick
Rodgers thing
Okay.
is going to implode. And I believe the Jets will then be smart enough to run, offer him the money. Baltimore is not going to match it. And you got yourself your quarterback for the rest of time.
If that implodes like that, Maz, you might be exactly right. And the reason why you might be exactly right is because I think if something happens, I told you he's not going to. I never thought he was going to New York. Talking about Aaron Rodgers.
They're really trying, though.
So let's say that explodes, and let's say he doesn't go there, and whatever happens with him, now you're the Jets. You become desperate. We saw another team last year that was desperate, and that was the Cleveland Browns. And what did Jimmy Haslam do? Jimmy Haslam did the dumbest deal in the NFL history.
Yep.
So
he ruined the quarterback market.
So be careful, because if the Jets blow up with Aaron Rodgers, look for the Jets to overpay for Lamar Jackson and him get closer to what he actually wants, which is $200 million or close to $200 million guaranteed.
That takes me to my next fill-in-the-blank question.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers will play for blank. Braylon.
Coming to me first on that one. I've been on Green Bay.
That's why I thought you were going to just run out and say that.
I've been on Green Bay so heavy. It just feels like they don't want him there. But I'm going to stick with Green Bay. I'm going with Green Bay, man. I've been on the Aaron Rodgers staying with Green Bay. I think it makes sense for all parties involved. Maybe they'll have a situation. Maybe they conversate. Maybe they do it for 1 year. Maybe say, hey, look, I can stomach you for 1 year. I can stomach you for 1 year. Let's knock the deal down, and as opposed to this or that, I'll just give you flat out 50. Here's 50. Let's rock and roll it for 1 more year, and then after that, everybody's off the hook. I'm sticking with Green Bay because they don't have an owner, which means Aaron has all the power.
You know, that could happen, but before Green Bay does that, they'll probably ask Jordan Love, can you toss a couple footballs to some receivers just so we can get one more look at you?
And then once they do that, all right, and we'll give you 65 this year. We'll give you 65 this year.
Terry, where you putting Rodgers?
Green Bay.
Where you putting Rodgers, Terry?
I know I'm going to be wrong, but I still have to believe the New York Jets are so invested in this. They got on the plane. They flew out either to Wisconsin or California because the reports were different.
True.
But they're all in, and even if it falls through, I think the Jets are desperate enough where they're going to have to sweeten the pot either to Green Bay or Aaron Rodgers. They're going to try to make this work because they have to make it work.
All right. Since you guys took those two teams,
right,
I'm going to put Aaron Rodgers
in Miami
in the long shot here, and it's with the Las Vegas Raiders. I say somehow, some way, the Raiders bring him and reunite him with you-know-who, Davante Adams, and the silver and black. I'm just going to go that route because I got him leaving New York. Here we go. Third one.
I definitely can see that.
Another quarterback question. Blank will sign Jimmy Garoppolo.
I think Terry's up first this time.
I
went first last time.
Who's signing Jimmy G, Terry?
Is it the Toronto Argonauts?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Toronto Argonauts will sign
Jimmy G. You've been trying to send somebody to CFL all week.
You know, he's going to get paid handsomely
all week
by somebody.
Who's signing Jimmy G? You want me to go first?
I know I wouldn't, but how about the San Francisco 49ers? I still say the Toronto Argonauts.
Go ahead.
You're a terrible guy, by the way.
Or Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Is that Frankfurt?
The Blue Bombers. How about the Blue Bombers of Winnipeg?
Oh,
you guys, what about the Detroit Drive?
There you go.
Sign him to the Detroit Drive.
The Arena League champions.
Side note, Detroit is a great sports town. And you know how I realized that? I saw last night the Detroit Pistons game. The Detroit Shock were honored from 20 years ago. Bill Laimbeer was out there, Deanna Nolan, Cheryl Ford, Hall of Famer Swin Cash, who I used to date, laugh out loud.
You dated her?
Yeah, I did. We'll talk about that after the show. Because I didn't know I was dating until like NBA All-Star game. I was
so
like,
you were dating her, but you didn't know you were dating her.
And, like, she thought we were dating. And then, like, when we were in NBA All-Star game, like, she like hugged up me and announced me as a couple to like T-Mac. And I was like, yeah.
Oh, no wonder I couldn't get her phone number.
Got him. Definitely got me. But anyway, I remember 20 years ago, like, it was amazing to watch them. Like, I went to a couple games, they won the championship, like the Palace was always filled. Like the Detroit Drive, that's what made me think about them. Detroit fans will go support anything. DCFC is amazing. You go to that soccer court out there at Keyworth Stadium, like Detroit fans are loyal to the T. Jimmy G, sorry, getting back on track. Jimmy G will sign with
the Detroit Shock.
The Detroit Shock. Detroit Shockers.
Don't forget Ruth Riley.
Oh, that's right. Bill Embiid's daughter, I think, too.
You got nothing for Jimmy G.
Because the problem with Jimmy G is the teams that are in the market for quarterbacks right now, they're looking for quarterbacks that are like Aaron Rodgers, I guess Derek Carr. They're looking for that, or they're looking for Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young.
But you still need this guy.
Jimmy G.
You still need him if you're drafting a rookie. I know the team that's going to get him.
All right, in that case, you're drafting back up to the Texans? What do you think?
You could.
Texans
They're after him.
Oh, the Colts?
I got the Panthers getting Jimmy G.
Frank Reich working with Jimmy G. That makes sense. And that's why I was thinking, but I know they're going to draft a quarterback.
They are. But I think Frank Reich will love to have a guy like Jimmy G show him the ropes. All the guy does is win, right? Gets to the playoffs, gets the championship game.
He wins, but he
gets
doesn't.
to the Super Bowl.
He wins because everybody else.
Win. Exactly. He's not winning.
But he's winning.
But he's like Brock Purdy won with this team.
Brock Purdy got shoulder surgery. We'll tell you about that in a little bit.
Brock Purdy won with this team. You know where Brock Purdy would be good at, Maz, if you took him down there to Hamtramck? I think Brock Purdy would be good at Folan.
Yeah, they would.
I think he'd be pretty good.
That's my cue, huh?
It is.
The Folan Warehouse. That's right. Down in Hamtramck. 2 ways to play it. Brock Purdy loves it. $12 unlimited open play or a private lane
that's
reservation.
My cue.
For you have a lane for 2 hours. Run you $120, but you put 10 or 12 people on a lane, so less than $10 a head. And how about it? Any drink you want. You want a Bloody Mary? You want a Scotch on the rocks?
Bloody Mary?
You want a Manhattan? What do you got? You want some bourbon?
You know,
they got it all.
Give me
the Foley Warehouse got
fashioned.
over 100 beers as well, and the $2 mystery beer machine. Terry, did you use the $2 mystery beer machine?
No. I was high on the hog. I got the Old Nation.
You did.
Yes.
And added a $2 mystery.
No,
beer
I got
machine?
it on draft, brother.
Oh, on draft.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm a big
Terry
shot.
was there. He's a big folder. Get your fold on at foldingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
You're about to be shell-shocked. The catch of the day is in. Big Boy Seafood Fest is officially back. Join us for some of your favorites like our popcorn shrimp and pike perch platters and our classic fish and chips. This year, we've reeled in some fresh catches like our shrimp Alfredo, shrimp stir-fry, and our fish sandwich. And especially, don't forget about our all-you-can-eat Friday night fish fry buffet. Every day is a fish fry at Big Boy.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Now is the best time to join Planet Fitness. The gym that has always been known for being clean is now cleaner than ever. With tons of equipment, a full body workout, and a 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. The best part about all this, you get it all just for $10 a month.
Only $10?
Yes, Fletch. Only $10 a month. Planet Fitness has more than 50 convenient locations in the Metro Detroit area, so no matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness nearby. Join In Club today or check them out online at planetfitness.com.
All right, Ermanni and Edwards on a Friday with Maz. Terry Foster filling it. Shout out to all the Michigan State basketball fans out there. We don't want to leave you guys. Michigan State trailing in the first half, 17-22 to the Ohio State Buckeyes. T-Foss.
22-17.
22-17.
You can't say the
trailing
losing score first. Right?
They swept the Buckeyes.
But I did
this
say
year,
trailing
too.
though, so
still 22-17.
It is 22-17.
Okay.
All right, so 17.
Whether you're trailing or you're up.
Correct. And I appreciate that. This is a Hall of Famer, and you want to listen to things like this. He's a media Hall of Famer, so my apologies. 22-17, Michigan State Spartans trailing. Do they need this win to get in the tournament, T?
I don't think they do.
Yeah.
But this win definitely puts them in. I think Michigan State's resume is good enough, and plus they have the reputation. You know, a lot of times you get in or you get the edge up on people because of what you've done in the past. So I think Michigan State will get in, but if they lose Ohio State, it's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, they've swept Ohio State this year twice,
Do they
including
need
the
this
last
win?
game on senior night. I don't think they need it. For seeding, they need to win so they can get a better seed, but I think they're in already. You want Michigan State in. I would not be shocked if Michigan gets in somehow.
And that's actually exactly where I was going to. I look at it like this: Michigan State's in regardless. I think if they win this game, they have 20 wins. I think 20 wins can get them to maybe a 5 seed, 5-6 seed. And I think if they lose this game, I think they go to an 8-9 seed. But Michigan is the tricky one, T. And I know what you're gonna say already.
We already counted them out.
We counted them out. We destroyed the NIT tournament
yesterday.
I'm so sorry about the NIT tournament.
Yeah, Flannel does not want him in.
17-14, Juwan Howard, University of Michigan Wolverines. Is there any chance that they get in the tournament?
I will say no.
Okay.
I will be bugging you next week to see if you can get me some NIT tickets for when they play Eastern.
So look, I'm gonna tell you like this: I can. No, you're not getting NIT tickets. I'm not getting you NIT tickets. I will despise having to look at Michigan NIT tickets. Michigan might get in, and this is the only reason why I say that. And we'll go back to fill in the blank Friday. I didn't forget, Maz. Is we talk about how with these overtime leagues, with these players going overseas for that 1 year, not going to college losing their players, teams not being that good. You need star power, and you look at a team like Michigan that's floating around 17-14. You look at traditionally how well they play in the tournament. Like, do you just let this team in so you have some of the bigger teams? Because I told you where Michigan and UNC and Duke were ranked last week. They were both in the 50s. They're both in the 60s. So
and they probably won't make it.
Nah, they will. They'll make it. Because UNC got, I think UNC and Duke both got some random wins this last week. They'll sneak in, but I think Michigan could sneak in. Michigan State doesn't need to win to answer the question. Maz, back to around NFL. 26-19 now.
All right.
Ohio State now leading Michigan State.
That's early. All right, let's get back to fill in the blank Friday. Fill in the blank Friday. The Lions will sign blank in free agency. Don't say diddly either. The Lions will sign blank in free agency. So pick one player you're sure they're going to sign.
Trayvon Edmonds. There's a couple players that I want, but this is a guy that I think, one, not only do they need Trayvon Edmonds, linebacker for the Buffalo Bills, played outstanding for them, man. He can he rushes the quarterback. He drops in coverage as well. He can cover your best tight end. He can cover him as well. He's an elite tackler. That's somebody you need, man, for the Detroit Lions, and I think that's somebody that they've been eyeing for a while as well. So in terms of who do I think they need and who I think they're going after, Trayvon Edmonds, excuse me.
Go ahead, Tony.
I believe the Lions will sign Jamel Dean.
You're big on him.
Yeah.
That's a hope. But see, that's a hope they sign. Do you really think they're going to sign him?
I think they're going for a change, sign someone that commands a big contract.
Okay.
They've been 1 year deals, prove it deals, blah, 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 blah. I think this year that they will sign one guy that's making a lot of money. And because they feel that they're close to doing something. Maybe this is the time to do that. A year ago, I would say absolutely don't. I wouldn't have brought his name up.
Right.
But maybe they feel they're far enough along if they bring in the right guy, and even if he makes too much money.
What makes Dean the right guy for you?
He can cover people.
Mm-hmm.
They need cornerbacks. I wasn't an advocate of using the 6th pick on a cornerback, but I don't think they're going to. I just think they need a cornerback. It's a weakness. They need to bring in a veteran and then draft a young fella.
Okay, all right,
or two.
You know who I'm going with? I'm going with C.J. Gardner-Johnson. That's my guy. That's my belief. I think he's the dog. He's the alpha that you put out there in that secondary. And that's my guy, and I'm sticking with it. All right. The Lions will blank bring Darius Slay back to Detroit.
I think should. I think should bring Darius Slay back to Detroit. The Lions need a corner. How is D Slay right now? 31?
Sounds about right.
It's 31, 32.
I think it's 32.
Yeah, I think it's 32. I think they bring him back. I think they negotiate his contract. They bring it down a little bit. The reason why I say that, because remember, I was a huge fan of wanting to bring Quandre Diggs back. I think it's something to bring back people to the Detroit Lions that have been before, that never wanted to leave this franchise, that can play. I mean, the guy left and made 2 All-Pro defensive teams since he left once Chris Christian got rid of him. Like, DeAndre Slayer is a guy that can play. DeAndre Slayer is a guy that goes toe-to-toe with number ones on every team. He knows this Detroit area, also knows what it's like to win. He knows what it's like to go to the Super Bowl. Came up a little short, but he has that experience. I think DeAndre Slayer would be a great, great, great individual to go to for the Detroit Lions and bring somebody back like that, or that cachet, bringing somebody back that wanted to win here. He's by himself anyway. I say they should bring him back. Why not?
The Lions won't bring Darius Slay back, and maybe they should. I know the people here weren't in on the decision making to get rid of him. But once the Lions make a decision as an organization, they stick with it. They don't go back. So, but Darius Slay, everything he did in Philadelphia.
Was that the Lions or was that Quintricia?
It was Quintricia that got rid of him, but the Lions, even if someone else makes a decision,
they had to sign off on it.
They sign off on it, and that's it. But the thing is, everything Darius Slay did in Philadelphia, he wanted to do here. The reason they got rid of him is because maybe he was too vocal. He had things to say about the direction of the team wasn't right. But he came from a position of love. I want this team to win. I know this team can win, and here's what we need to do. And a lot of times when Darius says things, first of all, you can't understand him sometimes, but it's forceful. And what the Lions need to understand is, I think a guy like Darius Slay can work with Dan Campbell.
Bring
Campbell
him back. May
not like what he has to say at first, but he's a smarter coach than Matt Patricia.
I think he would like what D. Slay had to say because
not at first, because you don't want to hear it.
But correct me if I'm wrong, T-Fall. The stuff that he said, Dan Campbell thought the same things, and that's why he came in here correcting those things right out the gate. Like I think what D. Slay was saying, Dan Campbell has already done or started the process of. So I don't think D. Slay will come back with that same D. Slay is that. I think he's coming back seeing what Dan Campbell's building.
Right, and but he might see some new things.
Right. But isn't that what you want, though?
Right. And I think it will fall on deaf ears at first, but then Dan Campbell will think about it, say, you know what, let's talk.
Hey, the side note to this is he is available for trade. The Eagles have told Darius Slay, look, you can go out and find a trade partner. What happens is Matt Patricia is rumored to be heading back to Philadelphia as a linebackers coach, and you know the scoop.
How can you do that?
Isn't that something?
That's asinine to me.
The good old boy club.
Well, I know, but you have a prominent player who doesn't like him, and guess what? Patricia doesn't like him either.
But guess what? At the end of the day, the way that franchises look at it is, one, Matt Patricia will be coaching for the next 40 years. Darius Slay is only playing for another how many years? 4
more years.
Or 5? And doesn't have to play this year with the Philadelphia
You
Eagles.
can't find another linebacker coach?
They don't care. This is the good old boy system. They don't care about their beef, their little contriteness. At the end of the day, like, we'll see you later. We appreciate your services. We know y'all don't like each other, so we helped you out. We traded your ass, and we traded you up out of here.
Isn't that something?
It's the NFL.
Yeah.
That's the NFL.
But it's ridiculous.
It's the NFL. Here we go. Last one, Big Man.
All right. Here we go. Blank will win the Big Ten tournament. Who's it going to be?
Purdue.
Can we say nobody?
You could say nobody.
Okay.
I'm going to go Purdue. I mean, Purdue is a team that...
Purdue beat Rutgers earlier today. Stubborn Rutgers, but they did beat them.
Purdue's been the best team in the NBA. I mean, the best team in the Big Ten for about the past 4 years, really the last 4 or 5 years. I think Purdue's been consistent. I think it started with Edwards, the point guard that they had, or the two-guard Edwards, and it's just continued. I'm going to go with Purdue. They're not going to do anything in the tournament, but they're going to win the Big Ten tournament. I'm going Purdue.
I agree.
Is Matt Painter still their coach?
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Okay, then I'm going to go with Michigan State.
Even though they're struggling today and they didn't beat them this year.
Michigan State's down.
Hey, struggled against Nebraska.
Yeah.
I turned it off. And then the second half, they just went.
Yeah. 54-19 in the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you said it was 54-19 now. So
no,
okay.
54-19 in that second half.
No.
It's 33-24 currently right now. Ohio State.
They might not get out of today.
They may not, man.
You still rolling with them?
I think I jinxed them with these colors. I didn't wear those before Ohio State, by the way.
They have good guard play. They're always dangerous.
They're always dangerous around this time, for sure, for sure. All right, JB, talk to me. What you got over there, my guy? Tell us a little bit about Les Stanford.
Yes, let me tell you about Les Stanford. They have expanded into Ferndale, everybody.
Expansion.
A trusted name for over 50 years. It's Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service that customers have come to know and love. Go and check them out on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. And don't forget about Les Stanford in Dearborn as well if you're looking for that new Chevy or that new Cadillac. Find the brand you want at letsstanford.com. Letsstanford.com. Letsstanford.com.
Fine. New Road.
Keep remix there.
It was a remix.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard.
Corner, jumper,
Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
At Alta, uptime matters.
It matters.
That's right. At Alta Equipment, they've got everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, give Alta Rental a call. Call them today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO ALTA. Alta.
Bring you guys back in on Friday. It's Ermanni and Edwards with Maz and Ryan and Monty out. Our prayers still with Ryan and his family. We love you, big guy. We will see you when we see you. Prayers up to the family. Filling in as Terry Foster, Detroit and national level in the media.
And I'm bad too.
And
I want to say
I was about to give you your whole flowers and your whole
I just want to say real
page.
quick. Can we send Alta to the district Detroit?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
There you go.
Maybe they'll get it going.
Build some buildings.
Get it going. Knock down some parking lots.
Right.
Get it going.
There we go. I think I've had enough of basketball and mental health for Friday. Maz, take us around the NFL, man. Let's get it like JB. Give us some music. Let's go around the NFL a little bit.
The NFL always gets us going.
There we go.
The Jets believe they are closing in on a deal. Woody Johnson, of course, the other day flies to California to meet with Aaron Rodgers at his posh estate. Well, it looks like the Jets brass and family are really stepping out. Robert Saleh, a lot of the players like Sauce Gardner are all coming out with their own tweets. Aaron Rodgers, come to New York. You're going to win. When you come to New York and you win in New York, you are put on a pedestal. Guys, do you believe Aaron Rodgers can change his fate if he comes to New York and gets the Jets, well, gets them through a couple of playoff games? I won't say Super Bowl yet.
I'll go first, and the answer is yes. And the reason why I say is I'll speak from experience. Look, I played 3 years with the New York Jets, and in those 3 years, we went to 2 AFC championships. We went to back-to-back AFC championships. Anytime I do anything in New York, anything at a venue, Lord, let it not be with the New York Jets. The love is amazing. Like I can't tell you last time I paid for dinner in New York. I can't tell you the last time I've paid for concert tickets or I've paid to go to Madison Square Garden or whatever. Like, and this is just little old me. This is somebody that was on. I was a member of those teams that went back to back. They give the quarterback all the love, and Mark Sanchez has reaped a lot of benefit from being the New York Jets quarterback in those 2 AFC back-to-back championships, and they weren't even Super Bowl appearances. I can only imagine what would happen if Aaron Rodgers was to do anything in New York. You're talking about the greatest city on earth, like New York. You're talking about the media capital of the world, and you're talking about a time where the Giants, they made the playoffs, but the Giants still stink. The Yankees can't win anything. The Mets keep letting everybody down with all the money that they spend, and that's why they just went and got Justin Verlander. If you can do something with the New York Jets this year, you get to a Super Bowl. Don't even win. If you get to an AFC championship game, Aaron Rodgers is going to get all the credit for it, and his name is going to ring differently. Because one thing about that market, bringing it to you, Terry, they don't really care about all that extra stuff. They just care about on the field. And if you went on the field,
true. But let me tell you something, young man.
Tell me something, old man.
You went to the AFC championship back to back. and you didn't have to pay for dinner.
Beat 2 number 1 seeds.
All right, go 5-11, and they're gonna charge you double for your dinner. Go 5-11, and you will be in the last row, upper deck, for any play you want to go to.
It would be impossible for Aaron Rodgers. And yes, he had a bad year last year, but you saw Aaron Rodgers start heating up the last 8 games of the season. Once he started figuring things out, Aaron Rodgers is not going 5-11, and actually it would be 5-12. He's not going 5-12 with that team. That defense was lights out last year, and they got weapons on offense.
How hot was he against the Lions?
He had a bad game. Lions played well. I mean, the Lions played well. It's the NFL.
Sure.
It's the NFL, but they won 6 games in a row before that.
But am I right or wrong? Is there less pressure being a Jets player than a Giants player in New York with the media?
It is, but it's Aaron Rodgers.
So it won't be less pressure if it's him.
Yeah, I agree with
If it's
Matt.
him, it won't be less pressure.
But if it was Derek Carr, it'd be way more pressure being a Giants quarterback than the Jets. But the fact is, him, I think it evens it out.
He could own that city.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. He can't go running to the Pat McAfee show all the time in New York.
That's
His media's going to get you.
That's his deal, though.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I hope he doesn't take Joe Namath's number. That's all.
What else is Aaron Rodgers going to play in?
Well, Joe Namath's number's retired.
But Joe said he can wear it.
I know, but he shouldn't.
But why not?
Because it's sacrilege.
How is
it's Joe?
He's done more than Joe.
It don't matter. No, Joe put the AFL on the map.
I understand that, but
Joe Namath, that's why he's in the Hall of Fame.
I know that, but stat-wise, Aaron Rodgers has a better
matter
career.
stats.
Maz, I'm just don't yell at me. Maz.
I am gonna yell at you.
But Maz, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Like I don't care about. I don't like Aaron Rodgers. Stop yelling at me. I don't like Aaron Rodgers.
Fine.
I'll yell at you then.
But I just think his stats are better.
But okay, sometimes,
yes,
young man, you have to look beyond stats sometimes.
Simmer down, you old guys.
Wait
Hush
a minute.
up.
The AFL didn't have to.
Nobody even knows what the
exist.
AFL stood for.
But you know what? It merged with the NFL because of Joe Namath. Its legacy is bigger than
because
stats.
they started Earl Morrall and they benched Johnny Unitas until the 4th quarter. We all know the story. Man, let's keep taking this around the NFL,
You
man.
bet, man. I'm moving on. Brock Purdy, the San Francisco 49er, Mr. Irrelevant, the 7th round draft pick. The man who took him all the way, to the playoffs.
This is coming
NFC
from
Championship game. He had surgery on his shoulder, his elbow, and he will begin to throw in 3 months. It basically, he's not going to probably play this year.
Per Mike Garofalo, 49ers quarterback, Brock Purdy underwent successful surgery on his elbow today. Sources say that the anticipated UCL repair will be an internal brace. Wow. The expectation is that Purdy will begin throwing in 3 months and build up his strength. From there, Maz, you're absolutely correct. If that's what it's saying, build up for 3 months to then gain strength. Brock Purdy, ladies and gentlemen, will not be playing in the 2023 season. Right. So therein lies another question. Who's the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers?
Maybe it's Jimmy G.
Trey Lance or Jimmy G. You might be right there.
Jimmy G. You know what? San Francisco's going to have to run the wishbone next year.
Kyle Shanahan said no way to Jimmy G, by the way, about a month ago. He said, we will not sign Jimmy G.
Here's my question to that. And I understand that. And actually, that makes sense because you keep playing purgatory with Jimmy G and say, hey, you're gone. Hey, we need you back. Hey, you're gone. Hey, we need you back. So I get that. But Jimmy G would have won the Super Bowl last year. Is that fair to say?
Well, he would have played a better game against the Eagles than what they'd had.
If Jimmy,
Josh Johnson.
And the Eagles didn't look overly great in that 49ers game. Like, they blew them out, but if you look at those stats, like, that wasn't a great game by the
That's because the Niners' defense is so good.
Which begs one to say, look what they did. When they brought Jimmy G back, they won 4 games in a row, then he gets injured. If Jimmy G plays that game, and I want this in the chat as well, we know we're coming to the end of the week, but throw that in the chat. If Jimmy G would have played the rest of that year and playoff, Terry Foster, do the 49ers win the Super Bowl?
They do, because he would have rhythm. He would have cohesiveness with the team. And he's not a bad quarterback. He is the game manager. He's the guy that can get you. Yeah, he's safe. But he has to keep playing, keep playing for that. I don't know what you want to call it, for that cohesiveness to roll. So I think, they probably would have won it.
I got something for you guys I want to throw out. And we might have to go to a commercial break before
we got
you
2
say
minutes.
This. All right.
We got 2.
Jamar Chase
No, we
his
might have to go
ex,
to commercial break.
his baby mama,
oh Lord,
is threatening him
that's how it
on
starts.
social media. And
Update.
she's not very friendly on social media. That's all I got to say.
This is from JPA football. Update: Bengals wide receiver Jamar Chase's ex-girlfriend Amber Nicole. Whenever you hear Amber Nicole, you always know it's going to be something.
That is trouble.
You always know it's something to do. Rest
When
in
it's two
peace.
first names, you're dead.
This is absolutely correct. Says she has video that would end his career. I repeat, end his career. You have some skeletons in your closet. Let me tell you that. That's how she read that. You got some skeletons in your closet, let me tell you. All posts that she have made have since been deleted. All acquisitions as of now. All accusations as of now.
She's coming after him. She's saying he's a deadbeat dad. And other stuff.
She's coming after him. The one thing I've never understood about this situation, and we don't have to even make this a long topic, and maybe I'll say something and we come back. You know what? Let's go to commercial. Let's talk about Lady James.
I knew you would have to take a break before that.
I had to.
That's why I said it.
I had to. I had to. I had to give it the just due that it deserved. JB, my apologies. Please tell me how to get a good haircut here in the city.
And not a problem. I got you covered. Come to Lady James for an award-winning experience and register for a chance at a lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home. Up to $200,000 is Lady James, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I've lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome back. This is the last segment of the week. It has been a great week. This is the final word.
This is the final word for real.
This is the final word for real. I'm your host, Braylon Edwards, Ermanni, and Maz. I think I switched it up. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. There we go. Shout out to Ryan. Terry Foster filling in. Right before we went to commercial, we talked about the situation with Jamar Chase. Basically, his son's mother has posted a bunch of things on Instagram and social media, since been deleted, talking about him being a deadbeat, saying he had a lot of skeletons in his closet. And if she were to release the videos that she had, that he and his NFL career would be over. Wow. Now, she has since deleted all of this information. Maz, you asked me before the break, and here I am. Baby mamas are killing the brothers. They are up by a lot in this game that we play.
Dominating.
They are dominating. I have indeed lost my fair share of battles as well. When you see stuff like this, the thing that I don't like the fact that you go public, because at the end of the day, when it's, I could ruin, and first let me start here. I don't know what she means. So if she's talking about anything that has to do with domestic violence, I don't support. We here at Woodward Sports Network don't support domestic violence. That is not something that we are about. So if it has to do with levels of that, ladies and gentlemen, these comments, take them back. But if this is just over trying to track him down over child support or whatever is going on, when you do these and, I got videos and this stuff would be damning and it'll end your career, you know what else it'll end? It'll end that child support that you got coming in. It'll end that money that you have coming in, Terry Foster, whatever.
Yeah, she didn't think about that.
She didn't think about that. Whatever that number is, whatever that tag is that he's going to pay you per month for his child, you start putting videos out there, he loses his job.
Right.
Like that
but you know what she's thinking?
That check goes from,
she's thinking she's gonna get that $30 million Tiger Woods money.
And she's not getting $30 million Tiger Woods money. Talking about the lady who filed for it.
Right.
So you gotta be careful. I hate with this, and also too, it's the child. The children get involved. Because the child will be old enough at some point, Maz, to look back and look at how ignorant their parents were in the media going back and forth. So the kid loses, and then the woman potentially gets him thrown in jail. You know what happens when you get thrown in jail and all that kind of stuff? Well, you can't be out there making money. So I just know that they don't think the situation's through when they go to the media.
Hey, let's put up the teams in the NFL, the salary cap space that they have. And I want you to look. We all know the Lions right now have $23 million or so.
And we're still waiting on Vitae and other moves.
I know.
Can we hurry up with those moves?
But do me a favor, Bray. What did the Cleveland Browns have?
Negative $13.2 million. They have no money, man.
They have no money. So I want to put this next text
and
up.
they got to pay Nick Chubb, too, by the way.
This next tweet is from Mary Kay Cabot.
She's
a reporter
been on the show.
that you know.
She's been on the show.
I know her, too.
That's right. You're in the reporter family. She's very respected. What is she saying the Browns are after?
This is per ML Football. Here you go. The Cleveland Browns have Eagles defensive tackle Jason Hargrave, Bengals safety Jesse Bell III, Colts pass rusher Yannick Ngakoue, Broncos D lineman Draymond Jones, that's the guy that I really want, and Eagles safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson as NFL free agency opens next week. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why Matt says the salary cap is make-believe. There's no way in hell that the Cleveland Browns are minus $13 million and they're going to get all those players. I did see something say that Nick Chubb is up, Nick Chubb is due, and if they have to pay him, it's 10.9 and then 11.3 the next 2 years. How you going to do that at minus 13.2?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
What do the Dallas Cowboys have? Take a peek over there. It's minus 18, is it?
Dallas Cowboys are minus, where are they at? Oh, minus 18.8.
Not anymore. They renegotiated about 3 different deals, including Dak Prescott's deal. They pushed money aside.
Right.
They're in the plus now. So they're ready for Monday. Sunday night at midnight when it turns to Monday,
Right.
That's when you could start talking to players and making deals. Officially, Wednesday is Wednesday at 4, I think, is the actual time you could sign the deal. Most deals will be done on Monday, they're saying.
But you know what will happen?
Right.
Cleveland will
get plus. They're going to get rid of a bunch of people.
No, I know. They will cut some backup safety and say, we're compliant with the cap now. And you're like, no, you're not.
You know what they're going to end up doing, though? If you look at it, it's kind of like, now look at this list. This came out before earlier. Now, this is minus $14 million for the Miami Dolphins.
They fixed that today.
They fixed that today. They basically freed up 18.8 between Nick Chubb, Tyreek Hill, and Terran Armstead. They figured up 18.8. So they're now at 4.4 plus. It's going to be the same thing with Cleveland. You look at Denzel Ward last year was the highest paid defensive back. He signed a $100 million deal. Myles Garrett has a huge number, and there's another one. I think they'll renegotiate, restructure as well. The NFL players, I take it back. The NFL owners and franchises, Maz, you know who they need to thank for all this restructuring BS?
The Saints?
No, Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald was the first person to and this is before Tom Brady. Larry Fitzgerald was the first player to restructure deals because he was the first player to get through every contract. Because he was never hurt. He reached every contract, and they renegotiated and restructured. NFL owners, you can thank Larry Fitzgerald.
Hey, can you help me with something?
I could try.
Do the Chicago Bears have anybody on their roster?
No. $96 million.
They're loaded for bear, as
now
they
you
say.
see why Justin Fields was so bad last year.
Yes.
They got rid of everybody. And they're still getting rid of people.
You know, look at the Vikings. The Vikings are $15 million in the hole. Not
and that
anymore.
Was Thielen.
Not anymore.
And Kendricks.
Yeah, well, I didn't say anything about Adam Thielen. Here he is.
Adam
Thielen released today from the Vikings. After 8 years, he came in there from Minnesota State. Got to play in his home state with his favorite team. He's available.
The amazing journey, the amazing story that is Adam Thielen in Minnesota is now done. Look, Adam Thielen is a guy that was really, really talented. When Stephon Diggs was there, he was super, super electric. After Stephon Diggs, you start to see him get injured. You start to see him go down. Detroit Lions, don't go pick up Adam Thielen. I know he's a damn good wide receiver and he can help you. Yep. Don't pick up Adam Thielen. I am not a fan of picking up players just to be on the team providing guidance. I'm a fan of picking up players that can still play, that can provide guidance.
Adam Thielen is a used to be.
He
used to be good. He used to be dominant.
And that's no knock to him. I mean, it happened.
I can see him going to. We can see him going to the Patriots.
I'm not what I used to be.
We get old and.
Don't you see him as a Patriot?
I do. I could see that. Terry,
yes, sir.
It's been a hell of a week. Terry, what are you up to this weekend? What you got going?
I am chilling this weekend. I have nothing to do this
weekend.
Nothing
to do this weekend?
Right. Not that he knows of, at least.
Not that he knows of.
Yeah.
Dr. Fauci might spring something on
There could be some surprise. Well, my son is on spring break, and he went to Miami.
Oh.
So I was, I thought we were going to do something, but he got a flight.
I'm trying to get it in, Pops.
Yep.
I'm trying to get in, man. You subbing today?
I'm subbing tonight. A little bowling tonight.
Okay.
We got volleyball tournaments. We got all kinds of soccer games. We got a lot to do.
The
this
family's
weekend.
back in. They're
Back
back
in
in
soccer now. What do you think?
Indoor soccer.
Indoor soccer.
Indoor
Yeah, we
soccer.
used to do that.
You
You
know
got to
stuff
get ready
is
for
year-round.
the real season. Terry.
Right.
You know it's year-round. JB, plans? What you got going on this weekend, man?
Nothing much. I am dog sitting this weekend, but I'm also trying to go see the new Scream movie too.
Scream?
Yeah.
They got another one?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Didn't
this
they
is
just come on
Scream
one last
17.
year?
No. Oh yeah, they did come out.
They did come out one last
No,
year.
there's another one this year.
Yeah, there's another one this year though.
Who's screaming anymore?
Sure, it's gonna be good.
Who's screaming anymore?
I don't know who they have left in the cast. To be honest with you.
No, I
Courtney
saw the
Cox?
preview and they
She's
said
dead.
it looks like he's gonna win this time, or something like that.
They whooped his ass in the first one. Like it was two of them. It was two kills. They was beating them up in the first one. That garage scene, he got flipped. I was like, who was that? Erlacher? She was whooping him like Erlacher. Fletch, any plans for you, buddy?
No, gonna hang out with the fiance. That's about it.
Shout out to Nin in the building. How you doing, young lady?
Braylon, where are you taking the private jet this weekend?
Well, you know what I'm saying? I was thinking about going to Costa Rica and getting away from the snow a little bit, but I think I'm going to keep it local. I think I'm going to keep it local and kick my feet up, man. Check this out. We appreciate you guys out there rocking with us all week. It's been a patchwork week, but I think Terry Foster has gotten us through it. We've worked hard. Appreciate Neil Rule for Tuesday as well. JB and Fletch have been dynamite. Uncle Maz.
Yes, sir.
It's great to have you, brother. This is why we lean on you, man. You're the elder statesman.
Thank you.
Terry Foster, we appreciate you, man. Ryan and Ermanni, we're praying for you and the family. We will see you soon. Everybody out there, we are Woodward Sports Network, and we'll see you Monday.
Peace out.